HSNs, today we are going to see like the 51st game or the first game of today from the 100 classical attacking games. Not 100, actually 59. Right now 100 will be uh, the list is being completed, so 59 games have been at now. So today we are going to cover the 51st, 52nd, 53rd and 54th game. Let's start. The first game is between Kolomo and Bronstein, two strong players of their time. E4, C5, Knight F3, Knight F6. Offbeat, I think. Not many players should have played this. This is some offbeat variation, Nimzowitsch variation. Now Knight to C3, D6, D4, CD4, Knight D4, A6, Bishop G5, E6, F4, Bishop E7. Now it is transposed into a Najdorf. First it got to the Nimzowitsch and then now it's the Najdorf. Yeah, here there are 15,000 games played and here there are 17 and here on Bishop G5 22,000 games have been played on the Najdorf until now. 106,000 games have been played on the Najdorf, so it was a clear transposition to the open Sicilians if we see. Yeah, it's closed, but now it's transposed. It's transposition. Yeah, here Najdorf. The main variation is the Najdorf, the main line of here. And here English attack is played very much, I mean very much. But the Bishop G5 line is the good old classical one. E6, F4, Bishop E7, Queen F3, Queen G7, long castle. Now everything is fine. Knight B D7, G4. This is called the Brown variation. B5, Bishop into F6, G into F6. Little bit offbeat. F5, Knight E5, Queen H3, short castle. Now G5. White is wanting to breaking up the structure here of black's king side, so B4 was played. G into F6, Bishop into F6. So, well, white checked once here. Then Queen H6. Now this F8 rook is under attack. Yeah, the F8 rook here. This F8 one. So Queen E7, Knight C6. Amazing. White sacrifices a knight. Why? Because there's concrete tactics here. If we get to here, yeah. So the E7 queen is under attack. The E5 knight only moves to take here. Now the point is to sacrifice one more pawn by E5. It's again a brilliant one. Now Bishop to G5 check, rook into E5 only move. If you took on E5, then there were many threats coming. I mean many rook to G7. No. F6, then Bishop D3, rook to G7. So that's why black gave his bishop F6, E into D6, attacking the queen. Queen to F7, rook to D3, B into C3, sacrifices one more knight. Bishop to c4, winning it. C into b2 check, king to b1. It's a common theme to get behind an opponent pawn just for the sake of defense. This b2 pawn is these pawns, when they are front of the opponent king and opponent's king uses it to protect itself, is called the umbrella pawn. So yeah, this is also called the umbrella pawn concept. Now knight d8, rook dg1, rook to a7, d7, rook into d7, d into e6, knight into e6, bishop into e6, rook d1 check. He had to do it because rook g7 was coming, so he had to sacrifice a rook. Then takes, rook b8, king a1, bishop a2, rook d3, queen e7, king a2, queen e6, rook b3, and here black resigned because he is a full rook down, and also the attack is continuing. Next game is between Tal and No Name. Well, Tal's games, what to say about them? Let's start. e4, c5, knight f3, d6, d4, c into d4. Yeah. So now knight into d4, knight to f6, knight to c3. Here the thing is that these the c4 is here, the g5 and the f6, many things. So well, g6 was played, bishop to e3, bishop to g7, f3, knight to c6, queen to d2, bishop to d7, long castle, queen to a5, king to b1, rook to c8, g4. Now h4 and then g5 and then h5 is threatened. So now h6 was played, h4, a6, bishop e2, knight e5, h into g5, h into g5, rook into h1, g into f6, rook into d1, knight into d1, queen into d2. And now what move they did play? F into g7. The game is known for this move. You can't stop promotion now. It's impossible to stop it. So the takeaways from this game were that never play the dragon against such a player like Tal. So he gone on the main variation of the dragon and then wanted to push his pawns, and well, in the Tal-like process he sacrificed a exchange as common as that. So and then well, it was over. Petrosian versus Raskovsky, 1976. Let's go. Petrosian is white, Raskovsky is black. d4, knight f6, knight f3, e6, c4, c5, d5, e into d5. The modern Benoni, I think. Anti-Indian, I don't think it's a modern Benoni. Yeah. Wait, the modern Benoni starts from d4, knight f6, now c4, then c5, yeah, then d5, e6. I think this is the modern variation of. Now knight to f3. It's a transposition, right? It's a Benoni modern. What is the difference between this and this? No difference. It's the modern Benoni, I mean. What's the problem? So d6, c3, g6, e so short castle, rook e8. So now attacking the e4 one. Yeah, e4 pawn. So knight to d2, knight b d7, a4, knight to e5, rook to a3. This is a common theme in this. If we see, is the Benoni defense, classical variation, Cerniak defense, Tal line. Okay. So now b6, queen c2, and if we oops. So it shows this game Petrosian versus Rashkovsky. Yeah. Now knight to h5, bishop into h5, g into h5. I think this is inaccurate. You are just like, what is this? You are just putting your knight on h5 in front of the bishop and allowing it to take. No, it's not good. Now knight to d1. Yeah. Here it's a transposition. Okay, so this line we can call it as the old line. Why? See, what line is continuing Tal? Okay. So Gligoric versus Stanislav Novikov. Okay. Petrosian, Alexander Zubov, and well, not that bad players have played this line. So bishop to a6, rook to h3, sacrificing an exchange. Yeah, attacking the pawn on h5, and here it's sacrificing this f1 rook. Yeah, bishop into f1, knight into f1, b5, knight e3. White's attack is very energetic. White can bring his knight to f5, the other to h5. Oops. And the rook to g3, then the bishop to g5. The queen can join from e2 to g4. Very bad position strategically and tactically for black. B into e4. Knight f5. The first knight gets on f5. Knight to g6, rook into h5. White abandons his plan because black was trying to play h4, so rook into h5. Bishop to e5, g3. Now f4 is threatened, rook b8. Knight e3, knight g4 threats are coming. B into a3, queen to b6, queen d2, queen b3. Knight to g4, as said. Now knight h6 and then knight into f7 can be threatened. Now rook to b7, king to g2, queen to c4, knight into e5, queen into e4, check f3, queen into e5, knight h6 check. As I said, knight h6 check can happen. Now knight takes, knight g4. Now the thing is that this rook can't move. I mean, he can't move. If he moves to e7, then queen h6, king d8, then knight f6, then king d8, then queen f8, king c7. Like I mean, if we see the evaluation of Stockfish just says +5. I think +5 should be here. Yeah. So this was the game. That's why here after Rook B E7, black design. Next game, Karpov Kasparov 1985. Who does not like to say Kasparov? Kasparov. This game is exceptionally nuts. Literally, man. So if we will take Kasparov's shoes in this game. Now, this is one of the brilliant games in chess history. Caution, caution if you are watching. So E4, C5, Knight F3, E6, D4, CD4, Knight D4, Knight C6. Now it's one of the main lines, I mean, in the theory, the Taimanov variation, really popular. This is the Sen variation in the Taimanov. So, well, here D6, C4, Knight F6, Knight 1 C3, A6, Knight A3. Now surprise, 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 D5. The Gary Gambit. It's the name from this game. This move is named the Gary Gambit. Yeah. E into D5 is the most played, and there have been two games. First, Karpov took CD5, then he realized his mistake and then took ED5. This is the legendary game we are talking about. Karpov. This is very old variation if we see. Yeah, like it. Only one game has been played in 2019. Then all others are of the 2000s or earlier. Like it has lost its reputation, I think. C into D5, E into D5, E into D5. Now, transposition. So if we take C into D5, E into D5, E into D5, and E into D5, C, E into D5, C into D5, it gets to this position. Knight to B4. Now many moves are here. Karpov played the much more played bishop to E2. And now if we see, black has won no game in the knife f into e5, this which is the main line, and bishop to c5 was played in the game. Yeah, it's the 50-25-25 ratio. Now castle 50-50 here. Castle. Now in the game bishop f3 was played, and now starts the fun. Now brilliant strategic play. First he develops his bishop, threatening to go knight to d3. Bishop g5 pinning the knight. He first gets this quiet move, rook to e8. This is good because everyone would think of knight d3, but rook e8 is first more important, controlling the file. Now queen to d2, and then another good move, b5. The thing is that before playing knight to d3, we need to get the opponent's knight isolated from the game. Rook d1, and now finally knight to d3. The knight is the majestic, legendary Octobus knight, as it is called. Knight a b1 only move, b4 was threatened. Now h6, bishop h4, b4, attacking the knight here. So now knight to a4, bishop to d6, bishop to g3, rook to c8, b3, g5, bishop into d6, queen into d6, and now if we see at this moment, yeah, 20, this is also preparation. Kasparov wrote it in his book in analysis that this queen, until this queen d6 move, all was preparation of him. Karpov should have played after bishop to c5, bishop to e3. There's an interesting story behind that move. Karpov's teammate in that World Championship, Geller, knew the refutation of bishop c5, but forgot to tell Karpov about it. Yeah, so this was the story. Even yeah, if he had told Karpov about it, then I think he would not have lost in such a way. So bishop to g2, queen to f6, a3, a5, a into b4, a into b4. Complete domination on the white position by black. Queen to a2, bishop to g6, just a silent waiting move. d6, white thinks of giving the pawn, now g4, queen d2, king g7, defending the g7 pawn quite, h6 pawn just quietly. Now f3, queen into d6, f into g4, queen to d4 check. Now the action starts. King to h1, knight f6. The knight is here. Rook to f4, knight to e4. The knight interferes. Queen into d3, knight f2 check. Rook into f2, queen into bishop into d3. Now rook to d2. It seems like white is getting many pieces for the queen, but now this amazing move, queen to e3, rook into d3, rook to c1. The idea is that if you take on e3, then I take on d1, and then you have to play bishop to f1, and then I take on e3, then king to g2, then I take this b1 first, and then I have two rooks for two pieces. So knight to b2, queen to f2, knight to d2, rook into d1 check, knight into d1, and then rook to e1 check, and white resigned because anything you play, then rook into f1 and then queen into f1 mate is coming. So brilliant for attacking games by Kholomov, Tal, Petrosyan, and Kasparov. Yeah, today was a day of big names. I mean, Kholomov versus Bronstein, Petrosyan, Karpov versus Kasparov. So, well, this was the game. Today is the death anniversary of Sarojini Naidu, who was called as the Nightingale of India. Here, she was a close associate of Mahatma Gandhi, and she was also the president of the Indian National Congress in 1925, the first woman to do it. She was also the governor of the United Regions, present day Uttar Pradesh, yeah, in 1947, and was the first woman to so, yeah. She was called the Nightingale of India because of her melodious voice, and she was an Indian activist, also independence activist. Yeah, so these were the games. I hope you liked it. Don't forget to hit the subscribe icon. Thank you.